YouTube, what's going on? It's your boy back with another one, man. If you're new to the channel, you already know what to do. Be sure to hit that subscribe button. Be sure to smash that like button for your boy. I'm back today, man, because I want to talk to you about budget guns, which is the reason why I got the Taurus Judge sitting in my hand right here. This is my baby, my big, powerful revolver. Kind of wanted to just talk to you real quick, man. Have a little chat about budget guns, because I see a lot of back and forth about that. And I figured I might weigh in because I own a few so-called budget guns myself. Sometimes I don't even know what that term is. I don't even like using it for real. But if you guys want to put it that way, then I guess I might as well call these budget guns, since they are much cheaper than the average firearm out there today. And don't mind the filming area, y'all. We kind of switched it up today because my stuff's a little under construction right now where I normally film at. I'm actually in the process of fixing everything up, getting my studio room ready, trying to up the up the quality on some things, just my background and, you know, just my filming area overall. So that is in the works. So don't come at me for the floors, man, because like I said, all this stuff is under construction right now. So I barely even use this room that I'm filming in right now. I actually just started using it recently. So like I said, you know, some things are in the works to change it up for y'all a little bit. Kind of have a little bit of a new scenery. Gonna try something new this year. And, you know, also to celebrate, you know, being in the process of hitting 3,000 followers. We're not too far away from that. And like I said, man, I don't plan to let off. I plan to keep bringing you guys good content and things like that. So with that being said, that's the reason for my room, my studio room being redone up for y'all. Like I said, man, just trying to bring something new to the channel. Like I said, like a new scenery, switch things up a little bit, you know, kind of take things to the next level. But with that being said, we're gonna get right back to the video. I figured I'd bring this out for y'all real quick because this is probably this is definitely one of the cheapest firearms that I own, and probably this is definitely one of the cheapest firearms I've ever purchased. Between all the firearms that I've owned and that I currently own. I just hear it a lot, man. I hear a lot of people talking about budget guns and things like that. I don't really know if I like the term ever since I first heard it, but I guess, like I said, I started using it because, you know, if you guys want to talk about budgets, I mean, this is definitely for someone on a smaller budget than, you know, the average person who's trying to buy something like a Smith & Wesson or like, you know, something a little bit more high quality, like a Colt Python or something like that. You know, Taurus definitely is a bang for your buck. I know they don't have the best rep, or at least they didn't have the best rep. Some people still rain down on them. I don't have none against Taurus, honestly. I plan on purchasing more Taurus revolvers down the line. This is the 45 Colt Judge. Let me see if I can get this cylinder open. Hold on. Bear with me, guys, because I am filming with one hand here. My bad, y'all. I had to cut the camera off because this cylinder is still pretty stiff. I've only fired this gun a couple of times. I probably got less than 100 rounds in total through here. So this gun is fairly new. And I did do some oiling the last time I cleaned it. But as y'all can see, it's probably due for some more oiling up. So I know that doesn't help with the cylinder being so stiff. The button's still really stiff. Like I said, this gun just kind of sits in my safe. So I don't really use it enough. I plan to put more rounds to it this year. But as you can see here, it's a 5-shot. You see how big that cylinder is, how long it is. Basically to accompany the 410 gauge and the 45 long Colt. That's what this is chambered in. So it's chambered for both. So as you can see there, Taurus Arms, made in Brazil. This gun is nice, but as you can see, it says it right there. Let me see. 45 LC, 410 gauge. Has the fiber optic sight. I always say that wrong, man. And then as you can see the focus right there. So overall, for what you get out of the box is great. Like I said, compared to a lot of revolvers, this is the better option as far as a budget goes. I mean, I'm sure there's, you know, I know for a fact that there's higher quality, you know, firearms, revolvers out there. And that goes for every firearm, whether it be a handgun, a shotgun, a rifle, you know. There's always a budget and everything, you know, so I guess I just started running with the term because I hear it so much. It's kind of hard to run away from it. But like I said, I'm using this as an example because I got this firearm for just under 400 bucks. So I would say like sub $300. Small disclaimer, because I am mentioning prices, and every time I do, I like to just put my disclaimer out there for YouTube, because I do not condone, I do not promote the sale of firearms on my channel, and I don't have anything for sale for that matter on this channel. So if y'all hearing this, YouTube, man, I don't want to get in trouble for that. So I don't have nothing for sale. Like I always say on all my other videos, just putting the information out there for all my subscribers, all my viewers who are interested. Once again, I do not have anything for sale. But with that being said, yeah, man, like I said, you know, I'm using this as an example, but you can use anything as an example, you know, whether it be, you know, a PSA dagger, you know, micro dagger, Taurus, pretty much any of the budget stuff out there. You know, I know they got the SCCYs, the cars, the Stogers, you know, those are all budget friendly guns. You know, you can find those for like in the sub $200-300 range. So basically, you know, it's just the whole thing of like, do I agree with it? And do I think it's, you know, do I think it matters, you know, what you want? No, it doesn't. Like I tell you guys all the time, don't get caught up in the hype, because I was once that person getting caught up in all the firearm hype, thinking like, oh, I want this gun when it first comes out. And then in reality, I really don't even want it. It's just you get caught up in the gun hype, you know, but something like this will do you just fine. You know, if you're looking for something that's chambered in 45 cool and you don't want to break the bank, or 357 or 44 Magnum, Taurus is definitely one of the more better budget friendly option, like, because they have a lot of budget friendly revolvers, like I said, chambered in all different sorts of, you know, cartridges, 44, 45, the more popular ones, 357, 38 special. And that goes for the handguns as well. You know, if you're looking for something on the lower side, then I would say, yeah, go for something like this if you're looking for a revolver. But it doesn't really matter what it is, you know. This is just in general, like any gun, whether it be a rifle or anything for that matter. I feel like too many people get caught up in the hype. And I think that's why the term budget gun was made, to basically like make people feel like, oh, well, you know, you can't afford that, so you got to get this. I mean, I think you can afford anything if you save up long enough, but if it doesn't really matter to you, don't get caught up in the hype of the big names, because I didn't. I thought I always wanted a Smith & Wesson, which I still do. As far as the revolvers, I'm not a big fan of the M&P series. Like, I think, you know, Smith & Wesson is a very reputable company and reliable. It doesn't have anything to do with that, but I'm more of a revolver fan when it comes to Smith & Wesson. And I always thought that I would get a Smith & Wesson revolver, but the price for me right now is just something that I know I could get if I save up. You know, eventually I'll be able to get my hands on one. But for me, it's just, I don't think it's that serious, you know, which is why I don't really like to get caught up in the big names. Do I like them? Yes, I love them. I always admit that. I like the more expensive firearms. You know, I think they're cool and everything like that. But, you know, whether it be a Staccato or, you know, Prodigy or anything like that, those are all beautiful firearms, man. You know, expensive firearms, they're nice, you know, and that's the reason why they have different price firearms for different tax brackets. You know, if you're in a different bracket, then obviously you're going to be able to afford something better. Whereas with someone like me who's more on a budget, like an everyday working guy, you know, I'm not going to be able to just go out and buy those guns as I please, you know. So I try to keep myself, you know, in my budget, you know, and things like that, because at the end of the day, it's just realistic, you know. But I think owning something like this is still just as cool, because, I mean, I just think it looks really nice with the snub nose and, you know, the nice grip on it. You know, I think the gun still looks really nice, and I think it could sit with a lot of the higher costs in revolvers, you know, even though it's a more lower cost, you know, firearm, something that's more budget friendly, as I said before. And I think that goes for a lot of guns that are on a lower budget. You know, there's plenty of budget firearms out there that are really nice. So I don't think you should feel bad about wanting one. And, you know, just because you can't get something with a more higher name, like I said, you know, like a FN, something that's known to cost more, or like a SIG or something like that, you know, it's not necessarily something that should make you feel bad. You know, like I said, there's a firearm out there for everyone. There's a budget out there for everyone. My fault, y'all. Camera went out on me again. But yeah, like I was saying, there's a budget out there for everyone, man, you know. And at the end of the day, do what works for you. And don't be afraid to purchase what you want to purchase, man. Don't care about the YouTube community. That's for one. The gun community and the YouTube is so diverse. You get some people who are down to earth like me that don't care. Like I told you, I'm not going to deny that I have a love for expensive firearms, and there's quite a few that I would love to get my hands on, man. I mean, who won't? Come on, man. They got a lot of good stuff out there. But at the same time, I'm not going to go over my head and think, oh, I'm going to buy this and, I won't be down bad after that. Like, nah, that's going to hurt my pockets, man. So, I'll stay in my lane and I get what I get, and if it's something that I really, really want, then, I'll just go ahead and do what I normally do. I'll put it on layaway. I ain't got no shame in my game, man. A lot of my firearms been put on layaway shit. I had this on layaway, and at the end of the day, it is what it is. You got to do what works for you, So, yeah, I do have a love for more expensive firearms, but I also desire the ones that I can afford even more because I know it's a possibility to have that in my inventory, something I can add to my, my stockpile already. And I'm not too crazy about having 100,000 guns. I mean, does the idea sound good? Yes, but at the end of the day, like I said, man, you got to rock with what works for you and works for your family. So that's why I say, man, don't get caught up in the hype, the budget term thing. At the end of the day, yeah, whatever you want to call it, it's whatever you want to look at it as. But for me, if you're gonna throw that budget term around, then I'm gonna say this is definitely something that could be considered a budget gun, just for the fact that most people could afford it. But at the same time, it's like a term that kind of was just created just because to make people feel like, oh, well, any gun is affordable. I mean, there's some people that might not be able to afford any gun. So that's why I say I didn't really agree with the whole budget term when I first started hearing it, because people were just throwing it around for everything. Like, oh, this is a budget gun. But, then again, it's a $700-800 gun. I mean, I wouldn't consider that a budget gun. Same goes for ARs, My AR pistol, I paid about $400 for that AR pistol, and that's my first AR ever, and I'm fine with it. I'm content with it. It works for me, runs every bit of ammo that I through it, and don't give me no issues at all. I've never had any issues with it. And at the end of the day, even if I did, I wouldn't be mad because even the most expensive, makers out here, manufacturers have issues. So it doesn't really matter if it does, because I feel like no matter what gun you have, you might just run into issues with it, unless it's a Glock, because, those things are pretty much kill-proof, death-proof, man. You could do anything you want, man. Them things, they just don't break, at least from my experience with Glocks. Most people gonna call me out for being a Glock boy, fanboy, whatever you want to call it. I don't only own Glocks, so I really don't care what you say. But at the end of the day, it's just an example, man. Them things is bomb-proof, and unless it's that, yeah, most other manufacturers are gonna have problems. Even the most expensive ones you could think of are gonna have problems. So I wouldn't really get too hype about spending $1, man. Like I said, just do what works for you. Because at the end of the day, whether you like it or somebody else doesn't like it, if it works for you, then it works for you. And that's kind of the motto that I stick with. Like, I buy what works for me and what works for my budget. And I feel like you should do the same thing, Never worry about what the community says because, like I said, the YouTube community is diversified. Like I said, most people consider it a budget AR or handgun. Last time I checked, $700-800 ain't cheap. At least not for me. It ain't for the average person. I don't think it is either. The average working person is not gonna want to spend $700-800 on an AR. So I don't think that I agree with that. People saying, oh, that's entry level or that's a budget friendly rifle. Like, no, I don't think so. Budget friendly for me, at least, is around $300 or $400. But that might not be the case for someone else. So that's why I say I don't really agree with the term budget because I don't think it really exists. But if we're going to throw that around, then I'm going to go on the other whim of like something like this, something that's more like in the lower 100 range. But in all reality, it's like I don't really think there is a real such thing as a budget gun because all guns cost money, whether it be 300 or 800. Most people can't really afford that, And maybe that's why some people don't have firearms because they probably just can't afford it, And at the end of the day, that's really just what it is, man, And that's why I'm going to go back to what I said earlier. I'm going to piggyback off what I said earlier, stick with what works for you. Don't get caught up in the hype, man. At the end of the day, this junk is old. This gun's been around for a while. It's not the latest and greatest, but it's going to work and it's not going to let you down. You may have issues with it. You may not. I had a few issues with it that I eventually resolved, and at the end of the day, it is what it is because for what I paid for, I feel like it does what it needs to do for me, So that's how you got to look at things. Just dial it down to listen. It's just going to work for me. Do I really need all these features? or do I just settle down with something just regular, basic, that I could just, you know, basically use it and it's gonna work for me? That's really what I do. Like, I don't care how pretty the gun is. It doesn't have to be the prettiest thing out there. At the end of the day, if it works, it works. And that's why I say, don't get caught up in the hype, man. Don't care about what other people say. Just do you, you know? So that's all I got for y'all right now today, man. Thought I just wanted to make that video real quick. This video real quick to kind of just put my 2 cents into it. I do want to appreciate each and every one of y'all, man, and subscribe to the channel, man. Be sure to support your boy. We so close to getting monetized, man. So, you know, I do appreciate it. Watch the commercials for your boy, man. And just keep supporting the channel any way that you possibly can, even if that means just watching this video. Throwing a thumbs up for me. I do appreciate it. I promise y'all, man, once we get monetized, I will be able to bring even more content to y'all. But regardless, we're not going to stop. So, like I said, man, y'all just keep supporting the channel, and I'm going to keep bringing this content out for y'all. So, like I said, man, until next time, y'all be safe out there, Hunter Gang. We out.